Hi guys,
Hello people.
I'm Milena,
Hello.
and we're watching Sopranos.
Episode 8, season 6.
Well, yes, we're watching today next two episodes, episode 8 and episode 10. I mean 9.
Do not know how to count.
I'm very excited,
We're
honestly.
watching 2 episodes today.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I thought the season started off great. Perfect. I just want to watch Sopranos the whole time.
I mean, we literally now sat down and we have to film 5 episodes in 2 days.
Yeah.
And we're thinking...
So we need to film everything, basically.
Exactly. So, the schedule does not matter what we film one day, but this is the first thing that we decided to film. So that tells you everything about season 6.
Yes. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, yes. I remember now that we read, the previous episode was on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Not previous, next. Upcoming
Something
episode.
about Vito?
Yes, that's Vito. So, I think Vito is... not back, but just the storyline is back.
He didn't really left in the last episode. They even mentioned him in the last episode.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna do that because last episode we had a lot of Artie, and I mean I think that storyline is finished. There's nothing to be continued on from the previous episode. So I think this episode we're gonna have Vito, and that makes me very excited. I love this storyline. I think it's just gonna be an awful storyline though, but I think it's gonna be great.
I completely agree. I am very excited. I mean, we know where the storyline ends. So again, it's his punishment for being in this business and working with these people and doing everything that he has done. Even though I sympathize or empathize, empathize. I guess.
He said the same thing last.
Yes, because I always forget. Let's say empathize with him being gay and all the things that he feels being gay in this world that he lives in, and I cannot even believe that we're talking about him dying because he's gay. That is fucking insane to me. But it is the world that he has lived in, and he chose to be, and he chose to do all those things for money and things like that,
and other people died also because
so it's a punishment he's
reasons.
Gonna get. So I think it's a phenomenal storyline. And again, the thing that I said in the last episode, that I still feel if my girl Adriana didn't deserve a happy ending, none of them deserves a happy ending. So let's just see them all fall down. You know what I mean?
And I think we will. I think it's gonna be a domino effect. And I'm gonna be first row.
I read something.
What comment?
Oh, how it is cool, interesting, whatever. That Jackie Jr. died because of Vito. He was the one who killed him, and now he's gonna die because of Meadow.
Wait. Jackie Jr. died because of Vito?
I mean, maybe didn't die because, but he killed him.
Yes.
And now Meadow is at fault for Vito dying, basically.
I forgot. Oh my god.
I mean, of course we forgot.
When Jackie Jr. died.
Vito was not important at that point for me to remember.
I did not know who Vito was.
Yeah, so I when I read it,
God,
I was like,
that's
that is
poetic.
Cool. Yeah.
That's it, we can play.
Yeah.
Oh. Are you alright?
Well, because of the...
Oh, okay, yes. That would be so scary. That would be so scary.
Yeah, I don't think that...
Your amigos with the baggy pants. Hope you kept them away from the show.
Oh, Jesus, they're musicians. I just want to add to the drums.
You're selling your drums?
I need cash. I don't play them anymore.
Those drums were a gift from your father.
Yeah, I don't want to sell them. If you guys hadn't made me get such a crappy job, I wouldn't have to.
Is that the guy from the...
I thought this is gonna be your boyfriend.
Well, I think he is gonna like him. Is it the guy from the restaurant?
Oh, maybe.
Did he have a mustache?
Yeah, who made him...
the pancakes.
Maybe.
Anyone will fall in love immediately.
Yeah, sure.
I thought he was wearing a robe. AJ, and I was like, oh my god. He is Tony Soprano. Do we want to talk about something?
Uncle June. What are we going to do about him?
What are we going to do about it?
We gonna do.
He's incarcerated for the rest of his unnatural life.
What he did to you?
Certainly not for you to worry about.
And yes, what he did to you, he's in jail because of it.
A little bit.
But like he doesn't speak like. No one
I would
speaks to
love
AJ.
for them to be on the boat a bit more, honestly. To have one conversation.
I don't know if there is like a conversation to be had.
I feel like there is so many.
Well,
honestly.
yes, but like I don't know if they're in the capacity to have those conversations because they never did, and AJ is now who he is because
Depending
they
on
don't
what kind
have
of
those conversations.
conversation you think.
Manager Dad. Welcome to the neighborhood.
You really should have some round-the-clock security here.
Isn't that what the police are for?
They do their best, but they got their hands full. Your weekly dues to us will give you all the supplemental safety net you'll ever need.
I can't authorize anything like that. It'd have to go through corporate and Seattle.
God, I hate
We
them.
merchants prefer to deal on a personal, one-on-one basis.
But how do you think corporate would feel if, for the sake of argument, someone threw a brick through your window?
They've got like 10,000 stores in North America. I don't think they feel anything.
What if, God forbid, it wasn't just vandalism? What if an employee, even the manager say, was assaulted?
Every last fucking coffee bean is in the computer and has to be accounted for. If the numbers don't add up, I'll be gone and somebody else will be here.
It's a new world. It's a new fucking world. Find other ways to make livings. Fucking jackass.
It's over for the little guy.
The fact is, I don't recommend it. It can trick the sensors into thinking that
You would have a lot to learn from them.
Jason Masucci was down in Tampa visiting his mother. Thought he saw Vito and Jay Craig. Turned out to be some other fat piece of shit.
If that fag ever does come back, you should have Carlo do it. Be good with all the crews.
Excuse me? You all hot to trot.
I got enough complications in my life. Feds up my ass. For business reasons, okay, but for political correctness?
Ooh, check it out. I can do that. No problem.
Now wait here, I'll get you Viagra.
Didn't even have a heart on when I woke up in the morning.
Like so.
Oh, where the fuck did the plumbing go? Oh, no, thank God. I must be healed now because I got a baguette in my pants now 24/7. Affirmation of life. She's coming this way. The money in the meter.
I cannot believe the actress.
Hi.
Juliana Skip, Century 21. You got a
Is
minute?
that her real name? Juliana?
I think it is actually the actress' name.
I represent the Jamba Juice Company. They're interested in purchasing the property.
Jamba Juice? You ever buy eggs from Caputo?
Frankly, not wild about the smell in there.
Let me tell you, his eggs taste 10 times better than any of the ones you get in the supermarket. It's be a real loss for the neighborhood.
So, tell me 17.
Rebellious.
Just a low tolerance for boredom. So,
He can relate to that.
I'm interested. But as far as the property's
I was about
concerned,
to say, but not in the
175 square
building.
foot's a little low. I don't want to sell out from under the guy.
Been dreaming of those Johnny cakes.
Johnny Cakes.
That's the title
Sorry,
of the
file
episode,
last night.
Johnny Cakes.
And that was a tragic death. Now, what was the year he fought Joe Louis at 49?
Yeah.
You're interrupting the date.
Yeah, I think it was 51. Maybe you're working too hard.
Yeah.
Must be lonely sometimes, being a writer.
You get used to it.
hey Dad, I left my science project in the back.
Don't lose my groove on.
I don't know, like, if the guy is, also bi or gay or something, or if this is just, like, Vito's perception of things. Like, the guy can be just a very,
I think he's
warm,
gonna have
kind.
a relationship here, honestly. You know?
Maybe.
That's how I imagine that he thinks he's gonna be free, but like, again, maybe he's gonna want to contact his children anyway, because like, he left a life, even though he built a new life here.
Yeah.
Chicken or the egg? You want to weigh in?
That same stupid joke, huh?
How are you?
Good. But I'm not better than that.
They were correct when they said it's over for the little man.
I was or not?
What the fuck is
He was
going
such a
on?
dick in high school. Well, he was a senior. What do you expect? He knew his shit on the underclassmen.
Be grateful for what you got. Well, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should be on the kid. My dad would have kicked my lazy ass out of the house.
Really?
It's the chopping off of the guy's finger, right? I never should have told you, because that's all you fixate on with him.
Can you empathize with AJ at that age?
Yeah, I had some problems at school, but I didn't vegetate.
Sociologists say that 26 is in fact the new 21.
And the new 26 is what? I'm 46, so that means I'm, 35?
My father
You're 12.
isn't an old man.
Hi.
It's ridiculous to let himself disintegrate like this.
How's it going with patient Sopranos?
I'm talking about my father, Elliot.
I thought you were done.
It happens too often.
I think that's a non sequitur accusation.
Why don't you just admit he's a gangster? He was gunned down, and you're into it on a tabloid level.
Devoted quite a chunk of last visit to him. I'm responding to that.
He refuses to really engage on this trauma the uncle caused, and I think it's just a matter of time before he totally decompensates.
Yeah, you could.
Well, yeah. Right.
Yeah. They're using because of who his dad is. And he's paying.
Zazu said to tell you he's honored to have you in the club. And please, regards to your dad.
Okay. Well, yeah. Great.
And this is how he also learns that every relationship is transactional in this fucking world.
Do we know where he's at?
How's Josh?
I don't know. Fine, through his veil of tears. But seriously, Vito, what's being done about it?
Well, like
Which
I
of you
said,
talk
it's not
about
your fucking
tears?
business.
You're always
He works
fucking
for me.
complaining.
You.
He's married to my cousin. He dishonored me personally.
What do you want me to do? Put out an APB on the guy because he takes it up the ass? Huh? It's a victimless crime.
Marie is a victim. Her children are victims. They've done nothing. And they're forced to live with the shame and humiliation. I gotta be frank. In your father's day, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Fanoik and his crew, he knew how to handle that.
Let's not make a beef with everyone. Fundamentally, we are in agreement on this issue. But I'll handle it.
You know, I saw you on TV when your grandfather shot your dad, and now we're like friends. That's so weird. So isn't your dad gonna do something? You know, be a march now.
We don't talk about that with outsiders.
Cool. I mean, he's not just gonna let him get away with it, is he?
Well, I'll probably have to do something.
Really?
Well, Tony and AJ are going through a similar thing this episode. The expectation of people because of who their father is.
What'd you lose?
Cell phone.
I didn't lose it. I was charging the damn thing. It was on the bedside.
He stole it. Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Where are you?
They can trace where he lives, can they not?
I'm just borrowing his phone. I never meant to hurt you.
Come back, Vito. Just come
What do you
back.
mean he's gonna die?
It's a little more complicated than that.
Please, Phil said it'll be all right. We could get you help. We could get you psychiatric help.
Phil, trust him least of all. He would like it here.
Tell me where. I'll bring the kids. We'll relocate.
I gotta go.
Don't you want to talk to Franny a little bit?
Yeah, okay.
Vito! Your father's on the phone. He wants to talk to you.
I don't know if the kid wants to talk to him. He was getting bullied. I think he does. Okay.
Hi, Dad.
Hey there, champ. You been behaving?
Yeah, you know. Dad?
I gotta go. You take care of your mother, okay?
Mr. Sopranos?
Hey,
Hi. Good news?
how'd you gonna find me here?
We're real estate agents.
What if she's an FBI agent? I could believe this.
Sure. $225 a square foot.
I don't know. The truth is, I don't want to sell.
You're a businessman, are you not?
As a businessman, I gotta tell you that in 10 years' time, that property's gonna be worth twice as much as they're offering. But you know, it's not just the money. You drive around America today and everything looks the fucking same. The Old Navy and Bed Bath and whatever. The North Ward. It's the North Ward. Listen, why don't me and you go get some dinner?
Yeah, I have a boyfriend. Engaged.
I have a wife. I'm married. It's
You're an idiot.
talking business.
You just said you don't want to sell. What's there to discuss?
That experience made me appreciate life.
Not your wife.
It's short. It can end at any time. And if you got the chance to do something that might make you happy, you know, you should take it.
In the past, I might have jumped. Like I said, I'm engaged. And things are going well. And I think, for once in my life, I will exercise a little self-control.
He doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if she accepts, the most unrealistic part of this show is that every fucking woman falls onto what he, and I might be missing the fucking charm in what he says, but my god.
I'm glad you decided to write your book in our little town.
fuck you doing? What are you, some kind of fag?
Guess I made a mistake.
You sure as fuck did.
Listen, Closet Queen, you can't handle it. Don't send out the signals.
Dirty fighter, huh? Asshole.
That he is.
Literally.
His own worst fucking enemy.
That's salami. 40% less fat and sodium.
You know,
That's me.
you're always looking out for me. I'm very lucky to have you.
And you're very appreciative of that.
Really. He forgets it every day, don't worry.
You know what time it is?
I need new clothes. Alright, everything I have is so old.
You got money. You sold your drugs.
And I need that money for living expenses.
What do you think clothes are?
No, I need nice clothes. Right, not socks and underwear.
Oh, so you can go out to the clubs with, Fernando.
I could run one of those clubs.
What?
Look, I'm not just partying there. Right, I'm learning. I see what works, what doesn't. Right, I can have a great club. And really successful. And why don't you stake me?
In a club? Get the hell out of here.
Wait, you pick up the garbage at a lot of clubs in New York.
If you want to get back into event planning, you should think about the Culinary Institute in Poughkeepsie.
Culinary Institute. Why do you keep talking about event planning? I don't even know what that is.
If you're serious, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get you a job at Beansies and you can learn the business from the ground up.
That's a fucking pizza parlor, right? Not a club.
It's the service industry.
Why are we even having this discussion? You're going back to college next semester.
See? This is just what I mean. You guys never give me any support in anything I want to do.
AJ!
Oh!
God damn him.
Fucking demoralizing.
I'm gonna give you a mirror to look at who you should blame.
Maybe he'll rise to the occasion.
Are you insane? He's not even legal drinking age.
Yeah.
Forgot. I forgot you have to be that.
Yeah.
But honestly, no one could blame a man for seeking an extracurricular outlet in a situation like this.
Yeah, no one could blame.
Don't give me that look. You're always telling me that I'm projected. You're projected.
So you're not seeking an extracurricular outlet?
No, I was just being theoretical. What Carmela did for me when I was hurt, the way she took care of me, nursed me back to health, you think I would have fucking betrayed that?
Yeah.
Is it possible on some
You
level...
say
You
all
don't
these
exercise
things and
any
you don't
self-control.
fucking care.
I don't know.
He knows what's right, but he cannot do it.
No. Carmela's a good mother. Did her best.
Here, so you can buy a suit to look nice for job or college interviews. This is not for fun. This is not to be used for any kind of personal entertainment.
Or we could take him shopping and buy him the suit. This one he's gonna have to go back because he cannot even have this here.
Yeah.
Fahad and Dow are starting a line of sports drinks.
Oh, cool. Big thing now, not just cars.
They're looking for investors. Maybe we can get to a prospectus, huh?
Well, absolutely. For your dad. You can ask him to look at it.
We were just up in Bradford. There's a beautiful
You know where else you should go is Shaker Village. We can't beat those Shaker bros.
Oh my God. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You are not even dressed. I got the impression you had something important to do.
He cannot enter here,
Yeah.
could he?
I don't get no mail.
Like he cannot, how could he ever try to kill him here?
They throw my mail out.
They're gonna search
Your
you.
uncle is having dinner, but you can see him now.
How do you think you're gonna get away with this? I mean, why am I searching for reasons here?
Look at him. Look at him. Again, look at him.
What? Anthony! My nephew. Take me home. I want to go home.
Hey!
Thank God.
It's not my knife.
I just talked to someone in Zalman. Get him out of here.
See, no consequences for his actions, nothing. What the fuck is he supposed to learn every time he's gonna get out?
Like we didn't know that.
No, but it's just like...
Like it didn't even cross my mind.
But like,
he's gonna
you know,
have any
he is
consequences
still
like this.
I don't know how to save the boy. Like, I literally...
Stupid fucking moron. Do you realize what could have happened to you? We didn't have connections. You're just gonna let fucking get away with it? I told you that's my business, not yours. And what did you do? Nothing. Zero. A big fucking jerk off. Fuck you. You're gonna put your fucking neck. Stop crying. Stop crying. I guess your heart was in the right place, AJ. But it's wrong. Come on.
What?
It's not in your nature. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You're a nice guy. And that's a good thing, for Christ's sake. Bullshit. I mean it. You're a good guy. I'm very grateful.
You're a fucking hypocrite. Because every time we watch Godfather, when Michael Corleone shoots those guys in the restaurant, those assholes who tried to kill his dad, you sit there with your fucking bowl of ice cream and you say it's your favorite scene of all time.
Jesus Christ, AJ. You make me want to cry. It's a movie. You gotta grow up. You're not a kid anymore. You gotta grow up. First of all, your mother does not find out about this.
Yeah, you're on the same page.
Yes?
I know you don't want to sell, but I thought you should know. Jamba Juice up there offered a $275 a square foot, $494,000.
You're kidding me. So,
excellent. Why don't you come by my office tonight and sign the papers?
Look, how about your apartment instead?
Good idea. Want me to give you the address?
Well, I remember, the glove factory. See you around 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you then.
How is it that every woman calls for this?
Can I get an order of Johnny Cakes?
No, you fucking cannot.
Short stack of tall.
Tall. Sometimes you tell lies so long, you don't know when to stop. You don't know when it's safe.
I hear you.
You look for your French blue? Here, I just ironed it. Oh, my canali, very nice. Where are you going?
Got a real estate.
On a date.
My handsome man.
Carmela took care of me really well. Oh my god, you feel so bad. Ugh, you feel so bad. But like, his ability to like feel something, like even like selling the thing. Oh, I don't want to do this, but
Yeah.
actually,
I mean,
I'm gonna.
500k is 500k.
Yeah, like there is nothing, like he could, exercising self-control does not exist. There is nothing that he stands for.
Anyway, I was thinking maybe you could talk to your dad and could send someone to lean on this prick a little and get him to give me my money back.
Panic attack.
Sign here. And here.
You don't have it like any lawyer read through this fucking contract. Like he could be signing away
Not only that, dude,
everything
at least
for
not
like
yourself.
$0.
You know what I mean? At least yourself read the contract.
What the fuck are you signing?
Trust.
Carmela buttoned it up.
Stop. Just stop.
Oh my god, are we exercising? Oh! This is a fucking first.
Oh.
Shit. Has anything like this ever happened to you before?
It
Do you have a
has.
history of panic attacks?
Tony?
What's it take to get some fucking smoked turkey in this house, huh?
What?
I bust my ass all day long. I come home, I want a little smoked turkey. Is that too fucking much to ask?
What the fuck is your problem?
We don't have the time, Carmela.
Keep a fucking turkey in here. You hear? Goddamn juice place moving in here. What juice? Juice. Jamba juice. Your boss went and sold the building.
What the fuck is happening to this neighborhood?
Phenomenal. Guest starring Juliana. It is Juliana. What a phenomenal episode.
Loved it.
Just like the whole first half of the season. But this
Well,
one, like, I loved everything in this one. Again, there was mostly two storylines that it was about. AJ and Vito.
Yeah.
And AJ I don't even have to mention, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, again, he is one of the characters that, like, I'm most interested to see where he's gonna end up and what's gonna happen with his story and how far we're gonna go with it. And it's, I mean, one of the most important ones, judging by, like, we're watching Tony, you know, and the whole story and how he ended up being who he is and how that affects his kids, you know? Yeah. So, like, this is the example of everything. I mean, not example, it's like the result of, like, the result of everything that, like, we have been watching, you know?
Yeah.
And on the side, we have Vito, like, storylines, like, I didn't think I'm gonna get, but like I love it so much, honestly. Yeah. I loved everything in this episode about that.
Yeah, I think there was this, let's say, common thread between, I would say, kind of three storylines, because we had a bit of Tony and his whole, like, signing off the building or whatever. So, like, you kind of had this overarching thread that goes through all these storylines, which is, like, kind of what this life brings, and the expectations that are placed upon you that you have to work under. AJ is just a smaller version of Tony, but he is going in those footsteps. It's the exact same footsteps. With Vito as well, he is in this life, he cannot simply be who he really is.
Yeah, I think it's loneliness, emptiness, like, of the whole thing, of the life that they have been leading. In my opinion, especially in this episode with AJ and Vito's storylines, because, like, we are seeing the results of it, like, what this life brings to both of them, you know?
Yeah, and again, just living in this life, like, Juliana, it's gonna be, now I remember her name because the actress.
The actress is called.
Like, what she said about, like, I can't remember exactly in what context she said it, but, like, something about boredom. Mm-hmm. You know, like, she felt the boredom, and I remember
just
that
talking about
Tony,
herself,
that was a thing. Also, what we learned early on about Tony is that, like, he feels boredom in a normal life. And then you have Vito, who is, like, we constantly see him when he wants to exit the, like, bed and breakfast, I don't know what it is. Like, he is, like, looking over at people who are just talking about normal, mundane things, just having a normal life. And I think he also finds it, I cannot even begin to imagine how he could get, what is the word, acclimated to that type of a life. You know, that's not a life of, like, stealing and lying and cheating your way to money. Like, I that's literally the way that their brains have been wired. You know, like, I don't think Tony, Chris, any one of them can out tomorrow, like, all this sense, and they go get a normal job and they earn normal money the way that you earn money, you know. It's just simply not in the cards for them, because of the life that they have led.
Yeah, I remember back there when Adriana died, and when we talked about Chris leaving, seeing the unhappy family and unhappy father, and then turning his back to Adriana. I remember reading a comment, because we were discussing what maybe he's thinking about, you know. Just like I read a comment that, like, said that, like, in their opinion, it has nothing in that moment with the family or anything like that. It has with the fact that, like, if they would to go, he would get bored, you know. He would have normal life, and Chris has always searched for excitement, for purpose, for this and that, you know. And, like, seeing normal, just, like, casual family living the life, you know, like, nothing to do with mom, nothing to do with anybody being special, with him doing anything important.
that he deems important.
That he would get bored. I mean, I just now remember that comment that reminded me of what you just said about how you can't imagine any of
I don't think they can function in a normal day-to-day life.
Any of them. Or just like you think that for Vito?
I think that's for Vito because Vito was also like the one that was, I think had, like, for example, I can imagine that for Bobby, for example, you know, because I don't think he has like many, I don't know, wishes to move up in this world. Vito was the best earner, you know what I mean? Like he is the type of guy that really put in his all. Mm-hmm. And so like for a type like him to live a regular life, I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, maybe not. The thing is, like, honestly, I didn't even think about like if he was able to get away from this life or not, you know, or if he wanted to. To me, I honestly thought that like he's gonna come back because of his family. Yeah. Because that is not something, again, that is also, I really love what they're doing with Vito's character, because like they are putting so many layers to him, because like to me at least it seems like he really loves his wife and he really loves his kids. Like when he talked to them, he seemed like he was in pain, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That family seemed like it's very close, you know?
Yeah.
So like that is another aspect of him that like we are getting to know, and then that's the reason why I don't think he is gonna have chance in this life, you know what I mean? But also I understand what you mean, like that he was rising up. I also think that like he is a gay man, and that
he was like having to put his energy into something else because he cannot be who he is
in some ways.
I understand,
you know what I mean? Like I think if he didn't have family, again, I don't know if he would be able to break a cycle. First that, like, because like he said it, some habits are very hard to forget or something like that, to break.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. Yeah, that is something that I understand.
Yeah.
So like he would even maybe break something that he built here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of who he is and who he was his whole life.
Yeah.
You know? So like that is also a possibility. But like getting something that happiness that like he never found in his previous life, like something that like would fulfill him in any way, would maybe, in my opinion, maybe not for Vito in this case, but would maybe for somebody else be more than enough. I mean, I have no idea, but you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
I think that storyline is also an interesting person. Not for Vito. It's not for Vito. I'm just saying I'm just saying that like I think that storyline would be an interesting story to explore. Not in this show for Vito. Just because again, I think I do agree with you. Like I'm gonna say he's too far gone. You know what I mean? But he did rise, and he did give his all, and he also does, which is very important, have a family there. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, you know?
I don't know, like he's gonna come back, like whether that's gonna be like for his family or whether that's gonna be because he doesn't know how to be anyone else. I think it's gonna be both things, you know?
For example, if he would, I think, again, he's here.
Yeah.
And we saw when the guy kissed him how he reacted.
Yeah, and like that instinct to immediately...
And then he came back, and now they have something, and I think they're gonna be together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could see Vito also breaking this, you know? Destroying anything nice between him and this guy, you know? Just because that is who he is right now. That is the kind of person that he is.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if he has, like, accepted himself, you know, for who he is. And so, like, if he has not, like, then this is just, like, a momentary thing. I mean, I think he's not gonna let himself have.
I think he hates himself.
Yeah.
Like, accepted himself in a meaning that, like, that is who he is. I think he knows that is who he is, you know?
Yeah, but, like, he thinks it's still wrong.
Yes,
Understand.
You can't live 40 something years in this world hating on that, trying to minimize it, not fulfill any type of needs. You know, like marrying a woman, having 2 kids, building this whole life, living and working with a man with such an environment who would kill for that.
Yeah.
Because of that, who would kill a person, like hate that, you know?
Yeah.
You can't live that life for 40 something years and love yourself for who you are.
There's
you know?
no way.
So like,
which is why like whatever he is in right now, it's not gonna work out. You know what I mean? Like there is nothing to be done because Vito has not done the internal thing.
No.
You know.
So like I think the storyline can lead in so many directions.
Yeah.
You know, again we know on the other side that like the guy, what is his name? The gray hair guy, Bren. Maybe it's not.
What do you mean gray guy? Leotard. Phil. Okay.
Phil. Great. Phil. We know that he's searching for Vito, and to that measures.
Yeah.
No, I hate English. That like he is even talking to Tony and saying like, I let one go, I'm not gonna let this one go. And we know, at least now, that Tony is not planning or searching desperately for Vito. So like they're not doing anything.
Tony's like, if he shows up, then we'll deal with it.
Exactly. So like even that can break things on this side. I just want to mention that like even that can break things for mobs, which we want to happen.
Yeah.
And we're in last season, so like
I mean, everything is changing. Also, just like I think Tony even selling that place, you know, that they also collect money from that, and he did not tell that to anyone. That's also gonna, you know, put a divide within them, but also just the fact that things just simply do not function the way that they used to function for you to be able to collect money in exchange for protection. Like things simply do not work that way. Like what the guy said, he was like, look, like I'm just a guy, yes, you can beat me. The corporation's not gonna care. Like they have 150 here. They're not gonna give you money. Everything is accounted for, so we cannot give money to you. Things are changing, things are developing, like for better or for worse. And that type of the life they lead is not sustainable to make money.
Yeah, I honestly loved seeing that. Again, the society is changing and we see such a big change right now, you know, but like I love, because this is an older show, I loved seeing something that has happened in the past, and we see repercussions of all of those things right now, the big companies, corporations and things like that, you know. And I love that scene, how the guy was basically like, you can do whatever, like we see how the way that they're doing business is not gonna be sustainable as it was, like how everything is changing for them.
Yeah, because again, the people that they took money from in this type of way, the people that they could have taken money from are people that own their own store. So they're just like small business owners. They were not stealing from any type of like corporation or anything. You cannot do it. So they were stealing from the little guy. And so, what is his name? Patsy goes out and he's like, oh, it's over for the little guy. As if it's like it's about care for the little guy. I mean, I think also maybe he thinks of himself as a little guy. Oh,
I think so.
This is how we were making a living. Oh, wow, it's now over for us. Their worldview is so ridiculous. It's so rich. But things are changing. And so, like, they are gonna fall apart. And we're just here to witness this. And that makes me, God, ecstatic, I think. Honestly.
No, I honestly can't wait to see, again, we say it all the time, but like I just can't wait to see where every and each of them go and what they get, what type of a punishment they get, because I think each of them are going to get completely different punishment. You know, for Junior, we just saw what his punishment is, and that is dementia. You know, he is completely lost. But like, we were talking about how Vito's storyline, you know, and like it's just like that so many things can happen. He can destroy this and run back to what he knows.
Yeah, of course.
Or at the same time, we know there are people who basically are searching for him as well and want to kill him. Or he contacted his wife. Yeah. And the wife knows the name. And like it can be traced.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I think so.
So
they might find.
Even that, if I were to talk to Phil, even that would be enough
to go and
find him.
Yeah.
So like God knows which one of the storylines, and it can be all of those combined basically.
Yeah.
At the same time.
That all leads to the eventual death of Vito. You know, just
definitely.
like how, yet to be seen exactly.
Yeah.
But I really love that.
Me too.
Really love that storyline.
Me too.
I think we can talk about Tony for a bit here, and his new how do I say this? Like his new development, let's say.
Development, yeah.
I don't know how to call it, but like
Something.
again, I think what a fucking great, realistic character. I think we were talking about this, like when he had this near-death experience, and like we're talking about like it's gonna affect people, and they're gonna possibly try to change, and like maybe like this could have been a storyline that went down that route of like Tony changing, but like the way that he acts is like not actually wanting to change, let's say, but more so knowing what he should be doing if he wanted to change, and trying to do it, but not actually changing, you know? And that like leaves him with a lot of resentment for who, God knows.
I agree. Tony was very interesting in my opinion this episode, and I loved the storylines that were happening with him. And I think in this episode he's such a fucking good and fascinating character. Honestly, when I hear him talk about like how things. But like this is not a change. This is what he was from the day one. It's just like so fascinating to me every single time I see it. I should get shocked, but I'm never. But like I shouldn't get shocked, you know. But like I always get shocked when he's saying things about Carmela and how she took care of him when he was at lowest, when everything was happening, and like the disgust on his face when he said like, "Do you think I would betray something like that?" So like. My mind cannot comprehend that you can say sentences like this and invite Juliana on a date.
Yeah.
Like those two things are so contradictory to each other that is so fascinating to me, you know?
Yeah.
It was also like an interesting, I'm gonna go back to that, but like it was also an interesting storyline that he also, when he also talked about how everything is changing and how it is becoming like the world is looking the same. Every part of America is looking the same. You know these big corporations are buying out things. How a little guy is losing. I mean the same things that like the guys previously said. You know, until the point that like he profits off of it. Again, it's always
he was not even doing it like he was just rising like. Wanting to rise up the price, you know, but like he is talking about, I feel bad. It just wasn't the right price.
Exactly, but like that's what I want to say. So like when he says things like that, he's so aware.
He's aware.
He's aware of every fucking single thing, you know.
Yeah, he is.
So like that's why just like again. So shocking to me that like he, like you said, has no opinions of his own, has no morals, no code, nothing that he is following.
Absolutely
It's just about him, his own pleasure, and what he gains from it, and how he feels about it.
Yeah, like when he decided not to sleep with Juliana, he comes home pissed because there is no turkey in the fridge, and like he works his butt off now because like he denied himself.
He deserves.
He denied the pleasure.
So he deserves
of Juliana.
The gratitude.
So, and like how like it's almost like he wants Carmela to be grateful because like look, he didn't do this.
Look, he didn't the first time.
Yeah, like are we supposed to like sit there and clap? He acts like a child. He constantly just acts like he has never gone past the age of like 15.
Yeah.
Like when you do a right thing and you expect something out of it.
Yeah.
Because like again, you're so used to having relationships that function like that.
Yeah.
transactionally. And he just like, there is no change
so
to
even
be had
in that moment, it is about him at the end of the day.
Always
it is
about him.
Even though he maybe, I'm not saying like he didn't feel guilt. I think that is why he stopped in that moment, because again,
I mean, this is like more of a change, let's say, in Tony that we've seen that throughout this whole season.
Again.
But like still, it doesn't mean that anything is different really.
I completely agree. Again, I love the storyline. It is the first time that he denied himself of anything, let's say, or like that he did something that he believed was right. For example, with Vito, we said in the last episode, I don't think he cares, but like that is not something that like he is gonna fight for, you know, at any point. Really, like if he would come to him, he would do what he needed for himself to be on good terms with everybody, with the business and things like that.
He has no honor.
That's what I want to say. So like this is the first time that he has, let's say, felt guilt. Yeah. You know, again, he said that to Malfi, and then we had a scene where she's putting the shirt on for him. Yeah. And then we have the scene when Juliana is taking the shirt, unbuttoning, and that was the moment when he took her hands and said stop.
So like it was too much for him at that point.
At that point, so he did feel some kind of consciousness. I mean, not consciousness, some kind of guilt, let's say, because of that, and that is why he stopped. At the end of the day, again, he turned it around. Yeah. And
it wasn't actually about guilt, you know what I mean? Which I think is what a fucking character. Like literally, it's rare to see something like this. So I loved his whole storyline.
No, honestly, I am telling you that like I think he's one of my favorite characters. I don't know a character with such a good storyline. Yeah. Like
such complexity.
To me, also Walter White was one of the characters that like I really loved. Again, he's the guy. I'm just saying, like as a character, like I adored his story. I think it was very complex. But like for Tony, what I loved even more is how it is tied to his childhood, his backstory, and how we are seeing repercussions of those, you know, like how everything makes sense, everything is understandable, you know, like even now seeing his relationship with the kid, you know, there was no, we still don't know where the kid is gonna end up, you know, but until this point there is no road other than this for AJ. You know, where he is right now. Yeah. And I just love that, you know?
No, I agree completely. I think the difference between Tony and Walter, for example, I also agree. I think I would place Walter right my top 3 characters of all time. No matter how much I disliked him. Like Tony's character is, let's say, more rooted in like normality. I don't know how to explain this. It's
even though it's such an normal,
like technically, like you have this vision like of the Godfather, and it's all like dramatic and like how do I say it, like serious or something, and like the very large point of the show is like how much they try to emulate the Godfather. Like that was Chris the entire, like in the first season, like showing like wear a fucking suit and go with an
I mean there was like, a bit of there was a bit of that in this episode as well.
Yeah. Like for
AJ.
Like that's what you think this life is. This is what you think this life brings, and it's not that at all. It's like sort of a normal view of the mob life that is, I mean, awful and horrendous, but it's not glamorized. Or I think like in Breaking Bad, it was more like it was the drug business, and it was more like, I'm not gonna say glamorized or whatever, but like it didn't seem, a large point of this show is how mundane life is and how much the rest of the guys cannot deal with it. Like that was also Chris in the first season. He was like, I cannot deal how boring it is. That was not a thing. That was not an overarching theme in Breaking Bad, even though like that it's how it started with like Walter White feeling inadequate, you know, like feeling low in his life. And that's why we went on to this whole thing that happened. But that's the difference.
Yeah, I think completely two different storylines, different characters. Just like the only thing that they have in common is the fact that like they both ended up in a illegal side of a business, you know. But like again, even though just like for Tony's character, I just love how somehow it reminds me more of The Wire than it reminds me of the Breaking Bad, just because like again it all stems from how you were raised, who raised you, like it all comes from that in some ways, you know, and like how you had in my mind no other path, you know, like to become anybody other than this. With what you were given to
and so like you follow AJ, that's like literally Tony when he was younger,
just like
again a kid that did not belong in this type of a world.
Exactly. Again, I think that doesn't mean that like I think they're gonna end up in the same places. I don't think that nor that like we're gonna for 100% still know where AJ is gonna where AJ is gonna end up, you know. Again, maybe in some ways AJ is even more inadequate. What am I even saying?
Inadequate.
Okay, for this type of life than Tony, you know? Like maybe judging by like watching right now and where he already is at 18. I'm saying I have no idea. Maybe it could be 16. I really don't know. I'm saying 18. I mean, he finished. He's 19. He's went to college. He's going to college, so he's 19. I think in some ways we're seeing a lot. How to say that? How to explain what I mean?
Like the difference between
he's not gonna survive in this world, in my opinion.
Yes, I think like you can. I think Tony also was not built for this world, but I think he maybe grew up in a harsher environment. Again, not to say that this type of environment that like AJ has it better, it's just different, you know. Like Olivia was a much more
harsher
harsher person than Carmela was. So like Tony
he also knew from, I mean, in some ways AJ knows as well, but like I think it was more in Tony's face what his father is doing and what type of business they are in. Since he was young, he maybe he saw him beat the guy. He was, I think, maybe more informed about the business, where I think most of the AJ's information come from the Godfather. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think especially because now seeing how AJ behaves and that he already has panic attacks and how low he already feels about himself, I think we're already on a downfall with him. If you understand what I mean.
No, I can imagine his destiny being more like Jackie Jr. than Tony. You know, just like the way that he behaved, I think it's
just like between the maybe mixed, just because again he feels panic attacks. He already, I think we could maybe even see him go into the depression, because I think we see
him
already,
like when I see him lying, like he's lying on the couch watching TV. Tony does this. It's like 4 p.m. He has done nothing.
Exactly, he has
like
not productive. He doesn't feel any will for anything.
Tony has always like that was the indication of depression, you know, him sitting in front of a TV just like eating ice cream.
And also he's using and doing drugs and doing anything he possibly can to feel any type of worth. To get any type of affirmation from people around him.
Yes, exactly.
And he feels and he does not get that. Like the only thing that they see important in him is either his father or his money. Like nothing about him. You know.
He doesn't have friends.
He doesn't nothing. He doesn't have anything. Like that, you know. So I think that throws him even deeper into depression. And
because again, all of
using
his
and things like
relationships, everything is built on nothing. Like it's not built on any type of like genuine feelings or genuine friendship. It is just again built on transactions. like they want something from him,
and he knows
they want
that.
something from his father. Tony also has that still when he is like, as he is getting like, even at his age, like he gets that from like Phil, who was like in your father's time, like he still gets compared, and he has to live up with live in that expectation of him.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And so, and also, and like AJ just does not know who he is and who he should be. And so like he like searches out for things that he thinks he is supposed to maybe be doing. Like he thinks, this person, his uncle tried to kill my father, so now I as a son, like Michael Corleone, have to go and kill him. Like that is the natural order of things. That's what people expect from me. That's what that girl was like what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna have to do something about it, because like he also wants to appear to be like a part of this, because he needs to feel a part of something.
And I think he also wants to prove himself at the same time. I think that he wants to feel worthy, because that came at the end of the episode where nobody again gave any affirmation or looked at him as he is worth anything other than money, or that he's worth because he's a son of Tony Soprano.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to introduce him AJ Soprano.
Yeah.
Like, not like AJ.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that like that came later. I think that also means that like he wanted to do something badass, something important that where people would admire him, looked proud of him. You know, that like he would get anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there was like, he did not think about this at all. Like, they're gonna catch you. You're gonna go to jail if you do this. How are you gonna stab? Like nothing. He didn't think this through at all.
But like even in that scene, we saw how unprepared he is for this type of a world. Where when he looked at his uncle and he realized that, okay, now we're at the point where we should kill him. Yeah. You know, he dropped a knife. Sweating. He was sweaty. He was scared. He was like scared. Is not even terrified. You know. Yeah. He just started running and screaming. Yeah. You know. So like that's what I mean. Like he's already depressed. He is not for this environment. I don't think he would make it. I think the only thing that like he can do is like show off. You know what I mean? And we got another panic attack in this episode where he passed out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be very common now.
I think his storyline is gonna finish. I think it's gonna go down from now on, but I think it could potentially have an open ending for him. Maybe not, but maybe the fact that like, let's say he is going to therapy. Or something
I literally could see that being like, I just like before you said it, I was imagining him in therapy, and like again at Mirror's Tony, we started the show with him in therapy, and Mirror's Tony leaves you kind of open of what he can become, because again he is so young.
That's what.
And so like
in some ways
he can have his whole life ahead of him, and he can work through these things, because like, the parents did not help at any point. And so like he needs to rework so much of the teaching that he has in his mind. Yeah. He needs to rewire his brain, but that's, again, he is so young, and so like,
I'm just afraid
it's easier to do.
I completely agree. That's why I meant like open ending, because for Tony, he can go to therapy as much as he wants. He has not tried to change for 6 years. Once, you know. So like for AJ,
he lies to her.
Exactly. I mean? So like for AJ, I think for us at least, we would think that there is a potential, or also it doesn't have to happen. I think an open ending for a character like this would be perfect, you know. Yeah. It's just that like, again, I still think that the only problem and how I find it is that like Tony is gonna die. And I think of all the people, that's going to affect AJ the most, you know? Yeah. Because of responsibility that he was taught to take care of his family. Yeah. That's the only thing that his father has taught him. That is what he needs to do in his life. Yeah. So again, if he already goes to business in any way before that, if his father dies at the end, what kind of oppression and responsibility he's going to feel to fulfill his father role for his mom, basically. You know, I honestly have no idea where it's gonna end up, but like I would.
I always find surprising every time and like a parent talks to their young male child that's like 8. Every time like they finish it off, like take care of your mother or something, like they say it like in this episode. I'm like,
Vito
I understand like the sentiment of it, like take care of the people you love. You should like teach your children that in general, you know. But like I think there's again, boys and girls, especially in these types of environments, are going to be raised differently. There's problems with both. There's problems with raising girls. There's problems with raising boys, and like putting this on them because like it doesn't, like the pressure of it and the expectations of it is gonna, especially when it's this type of an environment that's so unhealthy, is gonna make it very difficult for them to grow up.
I completely agree. So like that is something about AJ that I think where potentially his storyline could end.
Yeah.
That like I think is different than Tony's, because like, again, I'm not saying Tony, we see that he's not for this life. Who is? Like I think a limited amount of people
Phil
would
Leotardo, whatever his name is made for this.
We don't see any problem with it.
Absolutely none. Like,
so like, but like I think that's such a small amount of people, and there is much bigger amount of people who are in this business, you know.
Yeah.
And but like Anthony Jr., I don't think he would survive a week.
Like it broke my heart. That scene in front of a car was so good, and it absolutely broke my heart. So like, hear Tony said it's like you're a good kid, like you're a good kid, and that's a good thing to be. But just like we're saying all this, and we never nurtured that. You know what I mean?
But like
we have never. Who's we? They. I want no part in that.
Yes, I completely agree. But in my opinion, at the same time, even though that is completely on them and they're responsible for their kid who they brought into this world and are supposed to raise and take care of, you know, there was no other way for Tony. He can't raise his child the way that like I would raise his child, because we're two completely different people.
Yeah.
He can raise his child to be a normal kid and do the business that he's doing.
No.
You know? Like, I do believe, and when he says Carmela did her best, I actually do believe that Carmela did her best.
Yeah.
But she can, like, because she cannot, as a person who is married to Tony Soprano, live the life, the privileged life, and all of it, you know, she cannot. She did
her best by her standards.
Exactly, by what she knows. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So.
it leaves us here.
It is.
It leaves us where we are.
But like it is what this show is about. It is what I love about this show. It's a cycle.
Generational trauma.
Exactly, and tragedy, you know?
Literally generational trauma.
Like, I can't, but like, if AJ were to go to therapy early on, it could maybe be stopped. Like, the cycle could maybe be stopped, because like for Tony it's already too late. He went to therapy and he started dealing with some problems when he was so deep into the business. He was about to become a boss. Yeah. He already had 2 kids. Like, you don't start raising your kid at 10 years old. You start raising them before they were born. You know what I mean? Like when you decide to have a child.
Yeah.
You know? So like in my mind, that was already too late.
Yeah.
For AJ. Basically, but like maybe for his children and future generations, like
it might not be too late.
It might not be too late, and like that
again,
is
depending on how they're gonna leave off AJ's storyline.
Exactly.
But like honestly, every time I see him, I feel so afraid. Every time he does drugs, I'm like, are you gonna overdose? What's gonna come out of it? Are you gonna do something dumb? Are you gonna get yourself killed? Are you gonna kill yourself? Are you gonna like? He is in such deep depression every time I see him that every time I'm like, I'm so afraid about the outcome. I completely agree,
just because like we don't know the outcome, you know, like we have no idea. Literally, he could die by the end of the series, and like I can't say that I don't think that's gonna happen. I have no idea. It's just that like I think
it's not a far-fetched.
No, not at all. It's just that like maybe potentially I think this storyline. With an open ending, because we don't know where his storyline. Like when you said like that he's gonna kill himself, I I don't think he is gonna kill himself, but like I could see him trying or wanting to die.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because like, but like
that
that
was also
could
a
be
big thing in Tony. Like he was very suicidal.
But like if that would to be a thing, and let's say Carmela or Tony would to see something like that, you know, maybe that then we would be pushed into, I'm gonna say, therapy or dealing with some things.
Yeah, but like there were so many things that like should have been a wake up call. Like this now here, him showing up to Junior with a fucking knife to kill someone at his age. That should have been like you are not supposed to like find your kid like trying to kill himself to see that there is a problem that needs your immediate full attention. Like he went to try to kill a person. Tony was like, you shouldn't have done it. We're not going to speak to your mother about it. And I don't think you're going to speak at all about this. You know what I mean? That to me is insane.
I completely agree.
Insane.
But like just the fact that it's happening doesn't mean that like, what I want to say, I forgot. I agree that like it's insane. And I do also believe that like it's insane. But it doesn't mean that like, they think that like, if he would to, let's say, try to commit suicide or anything, or pass out again or anything like that like maybe potentially Tony or Carmela or whatever, probably Tony, wouldn't that be a trigger for them to actually try to help their son? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I managed to explain.
I understand what you mean.
Like for some people, like Tony,
like,
who is in this business, you need to be not slapped, not punched, but like kicked so many times
for you to understand what's actually
what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just don't know if it's gonna be too late before they realize.
Meaning like he's gonna kill himself, or too late for.
I just mean like in general, like. If he dies, gets himself killed, if he just got like whatever it is, like I don't know if it's just gonna be too late.
Yeah, maybe
by the time that they fucking pay attention to him.
I just think depending on where the writers decide to leave Aegis storyline.
I agree completely.
We're gonna have to literally wait and see.
Yeah.
But I could see it going like this until we potentially
I don't know, figure something out,
or leave it open to, okay, maybe there is a chance, maybe even if he goes to therapy, he's not gonna actually, like his father, put any kind of work, you know, to changing and helping himself.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think we're gonna see that. I think the
show's gonna end before we see that. I agree.
Before we see that. Again, phenomenal episode. We're gonna now watch next one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye.